The Galactic Summit had been called to avert a crisis. For the first time in a century, the 12 dominant civilizations of the Orion Arm had convened on neutral ground. The Kroth Dominion, a vast empire of reptilian warriors, had accused humanity of overstepping its boundaries by colonizing uncharted space. To settle the matter, the Kroth sent their most notorious negotiator, Ambassador Vareth. Vareth was renowned not for diplomacy but domination. His voice could cow lesser races. His arrogance alone had toppled treaties. When he entered the crystalline halls of the summit, cloaked in shimmering scales of silver green, he expected groveling. What he found instead was her. Beginning the arrival. Dr. Elena Marlowe walked into the chamber without a retinue, without ceremony. She was slender, her auburn hair tied back simply, her pale hands holding only a slim data pad. Among the towering insectoid envoys, the massive avian senators, and the armored Kroth guards, she looked fragile. Ordinary. Vareth's golden eyes narrowed. This was the human delegation? This woman? When the chair of the summit announced, "Humanity is represented by Dr. Marlowe," Vareth's laughter echoed across the vaulted chamber. "A female scholar?" he hissed, his voice booming in the translators. "The Terrans send a scribe to settle the fate of worlds? Do you not have leaders?" Gasps and murmurs rippled among the delegations. Elena, however, only adjusted her datapad, her expression calm. "I assure you, Ambassador," she said evenly, "I am precisely who should be here." Vareth sneered. He had faced warlords, admirals, entire planetary councils. This human woman would be an easy conquest. The debate. The first sessions of negotiation were brutal. Vareth thundered accusations. Humanity had colonized a system the Kroth claimed as ancestral space. They had built orbital stations without consent. They had mined resources that the Dominion considered sacred. Every time he roared, his claws scraping the table, Elena's calm replies infuriated him more. "Your Dominion never charted that system," she said softly. "It is ours by right of might," Vareth growled. "Then perhaps might is all you have," she replied. The other delegations began to take notice. The insectoid Keth clicked their mandibles in amusement. The avian senators ruffled feathers in approval. Vareth tried intimidation. He rose to his full height, nearly 3 meters tall, towering over her. "Do you fear me, little human?" he hissed, leaning so close his breath made her hair stir. Elena did not flinch. She looked him directly in the eye. "No," she said simply. For the first time, the Kroth diplomat faltered. The days wore on. Vareth deployed every tactic, mockery, threats, historical precedent twisted to his favor. Elena countered with reason, evidence, and most dangerously, patience. She presented star maps proving humanity's legal claim. She brought testimony from neutral surveyors. She revealed trade records showing that human colonies had actually increased commerce in neighboring systems, benefiting even Kroth merchants. Each revelation chipped away at his certainty. Yet Vareth clung to arrogance. "You are a scholar, nothing more," he spat during one heated exchange. "You cannot grasp the weight of empires. You are not a leader. You are a translator of numbers." At that, Elena finally smiled. The revelation. On the summit's 5th day, a crisis struck. A Kroth warship entered the disputed system, blockading a human colony. The chamber erupted in chaos as delegates shouted accusations. War seemed inevitable. Vareth stood triumphant. "See? My Dominion enforces its will. Humanity will kneel." For the first time, Elena rose from her seat. She set down her datapad, her calm composure sharpening into something else, command. "No," she said, her voice carrying through the hall. "Humanity will not kneel." Every delegation fell silent. Elena tapped her wrist. Calm, a hologram flickered above the table. Human battleships sliding into position near the blockade, sleek and bristling with weaponry. Not attacking, but perfectly arrayed, disciplined. This was not an act of war, Elena said. It was a test. Her eyes locked with Varith's. And you failed. Confusion rippled through the chamber. Ambassador Varith, Elena continued, her voice steady as steel. You believed you were negotiating with a scholar. But I am Commander Elena Marlowe, Supreme Diplomatic Officer of the Terran Coalition. I speak for our fleets, our colonies, our people. You mistook patience for weakness. You mistook diplomacy for submission. That ends now. Gasps echoed. The avian senators leaned forward. The insectoid Keth clicked rapidly. Even the Croth guards shifted uneasily. Varith's jaw tightened, his arrogance suddenly brittle. You deceived us, he growled. No, Elena said. You deceived yourself. You saw a woman and assumed insignificance. You saw a human and assumed frailty. That blindness is your dominion's true weakness. The chamber thundered with applause, from every delegation except the Croth. The turning point. The summit chair called for immediate arbitration. The Croth delegation, humiliated, demanded recess. Varith stormed from the chamber, his tail lashing furiously. That night, however, he returned. He entered Elena's quarters unannounced, his scales dulled with shame. For once, his voice lacked thunder. You surprised me, he admitted. Elena didn't look up from her datapad. That was your mistake. You are cunning. Too cunning for a race so young, he said. His golden eyes studied her, less predator now, more wary rival. Perhaps worthy of respect. Elena finally looked at him. Respect is earned through action, not intimidation. If the Croth want to avoid war, you will return your ships. You will sign the treaty. And you will recognize humanity's sovereignty in the disputed systems. Varith bristled, yet something in her gaze, unyielding, confident, left him no path but concession. Ending the treaty. By the summit's conclusion, a treaty had been forged. The Croth Dominion withdrew its warships. Humanity's colonies were secured. Trade pacts were established that favored not just humans, but several neutral races, strengthening the coalition's reputation. But the true victory was larger than maps or mines. For the first time, the galactic stage had witnessed a human leader standing toe-to-toe with the most arrogant of alien powers, and triumphing not by brute force, but by intellect and resolve. As the delegates dispersed, Varith approached Elena one last time. His bow was stiff, reluctant, but unmistakable. You are not what I expected, he admitted. Then perhaps, Elena replied, you should expect more from humanity. When she walked from the summit hall, the other races did not see a fragile scholar. They saw a leader, a commander, a woman who had proven that underestimating humanity, and especially underestimating her, was the gravest mistake an alien could make. And somewhere deep in his reptilian heart, even Ambassador Varith knew he had been bested. Not by armies, not by might, but by the human he had most underestimated.